Hello and voice. Stray here. Today I want to talk about the newest update in Soulframe, the Prelude 15. And honestly, I had some issues on the open world area with optimization. However, it seems it's a little bit better. I think so, at least. It's a little bit better than it was when it comes to recording, of course. When I was recording in 14.5, it was way worse than it is right now. But now it seems it's very good. Oh my god. Why are you here? I'm not talking with you. There's no way. Many things changed. Toggle helmet, I think it was added. It's pretty cool, in my opinion. The most important thing that is in Soulframe right now, I think it's trading, but the most important change that happened, let's see if I'm lucky enough to show you off, is the fact the enemies drop weapons more often. And yeah, if that happened on the first try, you can generally assume how often it happens in general. Of course, it's the stock craftwork, and when it comes to craftwork, I will show you real quick. Craftwork is basically your rarity of the weapons. It isn't the rarity of your armor yet, but I think it would be nice to add the rarity of armor too. Now, to use refining, you do need certain types of chartstone. Hashed chartstone is the worst, meaning from stock to military. Whispering is a tier higher, meaning from military to officer. Then you need a special type of chartstone for officer to noble. These are the types of rarities, the lowest one being the stock, higher one being the military, which it ever so happens that I have upgraded my Navala. I still think it's the best weapon in the game. From stock to military, then from military to officer I need Whispering Chartstone, which I already have. Then from officer to noble you need Lilting Chartstone. So in general, this game has expanded its grinding to a whole different level right now. Also, a really important change in this game is the fact that virtues are once again, free. The rebalance of virtues is free, so that's great because I managed to do some loadouts, like for example for Mara's Hand, which in general Ignis Wrath is not the best attack in this pact. Amber is probably one of the best, and also Inferno is great. However, I think it's not really a great class. I mean, this build, this equipment is not the best for Mara's Hand because it's more of a close range one, but I don't have close range weapon that would stack with my Magicka and also with my Grace. So in general that very much sucks. This is not my main build. I have a couple of builds. The most notable ones that I use are indeed using the Orangal's armor set, which in my opinion is the best, especially for my type of build, which is mostly Grace, a lot of courage, 0 spirit. So this is probably the best type of build I can actually have. On the topic of weapons and the drop rates, half of these, actually no, every single one of these sidearms is a drop from an enemy, and half of these weapons, especially this Orion, this mace, this Orst, this Needless Eye, and in general all of from here to here are all drops, you know? And I think you can generally tell, because when you craft something, you have it basically always on stock. You know, Ignemoga is stock, Bok and Merkel is stock, Veg is stock, and Navala was stock, but I've managed to upgrade it to military and I get increased weapon attack speed. Now I will go to a more depressing matter right now, how crypts and dungeons work. Also, a real quick about Tefren, I always said that this is the worst pact in the game. Well, that's not the case, you know, it's the worst beginner's pact, but it's probably the best pact in game in general, especially in late game. The longer you play, the better this pact gets. And another drop, I'm not really like, you know, annoyed with this, but I think it would be better for this game to, like, you know, slightly make weapon drops bit, you know, a little bit more rare, you know, instead of making them so often. Also, a really cool thing is the perfect throw indicator. And look, another drop. The good thing is that you don't have to take it. You can generally dismantle it at the spot. You know, you just need to hold down your interaction key. Now, as you may have already noticed, I didn't really see or notice any chests in this dungeon, in this crypt, for one peculiar reason. And this is why I have went to dungeon on a Prelude 15 showcase video, because the chests have become something of a legend, you know. They are not often seen. Seriously, like, it generally really sucks that the chests are like of ancient times, you know. Seeing them in the wild is very uncommon. I will show you the place, hopefully, where the chests actually appear. Normally here would have been a chest, you know, maybe even there, I don't know, somewhere else too, I don't know. There normally would have been a lot of chests in this game, but there aren't anymore. Probably at least a single chest would have been somewhere around here, you know. See, here would have been a chest, probably. There would have been maybe at least one chest in this area, but there isn't. The chests, the appearance of chests have been limited to 2 places. The secret room, which you need to activate through allowing light to a certain thing. Normally you would get a chest here with probably Cephaline, Gossamer Quartz, or maybe even Moronite. And yeah, you would be very, very lucky to get Moronite in this. But there isn't one anymore. There's only a chest right after these doors. It sucks a lot. Okay, I staggered him. There's one thing I dislike about Tefren, is that if you miss something, an attack, while having courage ability, it still counts as using a courage ability. So it basically just losing your stack of a lot of damage. With Tefren, you need to be very precise. This is not a class for like beginners. I don't know why they made it a beginner's class. I hope they will change it. I hope they will change this class for something else when it comes to beginners classes. Siren is the middle ground. I think it's very good, but the bow is still difficult to use. But you can change it for other weapon pretty quick, especially now since the drops are what they are right now. You know, you probably will get weapon very fast, different other than bow. Real soon after going into the game and killing off some enemies, you will get a sword or something quick. And yeah, and there's basically that. I think worst change right now, the one that I don't like at all, meaning it's the change of totems, and I didn't showcase it before, even though I should, because I was in my inventory. You have runes in the middle and you have totems all around it. As you can see, the totems changed massively. They don't give you 3 different stats depending on where you put them, whether on Spirit, Grace, Courage. It doesn't work like that anymore. Virtue specific totems. Okay, I will show you real quick that what happens if I put a tag right here. It still will heal allies within 8 meters for 50. However, if I will put this tag right here, it will heal for more within a larger area, you know. So basically these stats that you see right here, restore 16 health a second for 8 seconds upon unleashing a rune. It doesn't work specifically like that. It works a bit different, because this is the stat if you were to put it anywhere else other than Grace. Or if you put it under the Grace, you have 23 lives per second for 11 seconds. You know how much that is? It's 253 life points in that 11 seconds. You know, it's basically your whole life you are unstoppable right now with these totems. However, I did like the totems before. I don't think these are bad. I think they're worse, and mainly for the fact that I needed to collect all of these from beginning because they deleted every single totem you owned. So that's a sad thing. I really am not a big fan of that, but you can now dismantle those totems. A lot of things will now revolve around dismantling and knowing what to build. You won't be able to hold a lot of things. You will need to get rid of them all the time because your equipment cap, your inventory cap on items will be very very visible, and that's a really bad thing. Yeah, this is one other thing that I'm really sad about, is that your packs have the same upgrades in different loadouts. Your loadouts will have different virtues, however they will have the same packs upgrades, so that sucks. Also, the packs are a little bit different. Force Stall is now a really great addition. Cheat death once more, gain a chance to survive where otherwise you would die. It wasn't there before, and I really love it. It's an amazing thing. I think you will be able to upgrade it a couple of times, so that's cool. Stalwart, this is also very nice, very cool. Now this whole skill tree branch is viable. You know, it wasn't viable at all before. It was genuinely something that you would just avoid at all times because it used your points. It was a waste of points. And one single thing is that even though the weapon drops are up, gathering ingredients is harder in my opinion right now, mainly for the reason that you don't see chests as often as you should, especially in dungeons. So dungeons right now are very bad idea to go to. Seriously, I don't recommend going to crypts. I don't recommend going to dungeons. Most likely I would recommend you go open world, try to shut down those flying things. I will try to find one right now real quick. Oh, there it is. See, it took way less time than going to a crypt, doing this stupid ass puzzle and getting a single thing. You know, sometimes these guys hold a chest, and in that chest you will have a lot of things. Belger, scrap iron, sinner's stratagem, and here I have a chest too. You know, going open world to grind items is better option than going to crypt. That's my opinion. People may agree with me. Dodging in Prelude 15 feels a little bit better, and also I think parrying is a little bit worse right now. I may be mistaken. I think it's worse than it was before. However, dodging is better, and I think it will build better habits, you know, rather than parrying and blocking.
Okay, could anyone explain what just happened right here?
Like, I know you are very busy people, but come on, Sam.
Sam.
What is it? What was that?